see if this, I guess I'll go get the plunger. Oh yeah, it's right here. What's going on, everybody? I'm Saul Castañeda with MCSC Green Wheels, and I'm coming at you with a little quick video here. As you guys know, our project, Staff Sergeant Reckless, which is the 1993 Fox Body GT with our Coyote swap we got in that thing, just keeps giving us problems every so often. As we get closer and closer to getting them over to paint, you know, we're getting through the hiccups with things. And today, it happened to be the Hydro Booster. After scouring the internet and coming up disappointed with no answers, I was just kind of looking around to see if I needed to know something very special about these, if I was going to open it, springs were going to fly out all over the place like they do in cartoons. But to my avail, it does not come out that way. So one of the issues that we were having, I noticed that our lines were running too close to our manifold, and so I decided to remove them. And when I did and rerouted them, obviously an air pocket got stuck in here. So once we got everything connected and everything running up properly, I went to pump the brakes so as we start to bleed them, and our brake got stuck on the in position, so it was they were stuck on. And I'll show you real quick what I found, because I opened it up just so off the camera so you guys, you know, give you an open side of it. What ended up happening, I think that air pocket may have caused it for it to overshoot, and this cylinder right here, which by the definitions of these fancy my fancy instructions here, the spool assembly, which will be that guy right there, that's about as best I could find on the internet, guys. If I didn't bring it to you like this, you probably won't see it anywhere else. But yeah, that guy right there managed to, I think it overextended, and so in here we got the big guy that comes in through here. So this goes to our master cylinder. So this sits like that. This goes to our master cylinder. I have the plunger that goes into here. This guy right here, he sits right over here. Now he actuates as well too. He goes in and comes out. As you can see, he's got a little bit, it's nice and tight in there. It's like putting in a cam almost, so try not to scar it up. And right now when I popped it out, I found this spring goes in there like that. So I found it kind of edged out like this, leaving this extended out. And even when I took this apart, it kind of, you know, rushed to get open because it had a little bit of pressure buildup. But it was stuck kind of like this. In case you guys ever run into a situation like that, that you feel your brake booster got stuck, it's more likely going to be this guy right here, your spool. What is it? Your spool assembly right here, this guy, because it just came out a little bit. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go in there with a flashlight to make sure nothing on the inside right where this guy was caught. There's a little bit of a indentation on the inside of the housing here that catches this guy, makes this nice and snug. But the spring and the housing kind of just did that to it. So I tried to do everything I could, thinking it was the bottom one in here. But as you guys can see, this one's pretty long, so it can go pretty far. There's no damaging there on here. There's this guy right here, and that's when I was moving it around. I think that I moved it around too much, but I was trying to get some movement. I thought that this initially got snagged out on this side. Turns out it's the inner workings. So just to show you guys a little closer look how it is. Just be careful with this guy, because I'm pretty sure no one makes this O-ring anymore. So you know, if open them up, guys, but just be very careful with this guy. If anybody's got some extra O-rings out there, hey, I'd be glad to find out who you are and where you're at and how much they are, because yeah, I think I'm gonna go over a couple of the extra brake boosters I got, the Hydro Boosters, and kind of replace this O-ring, because as we all know, these get smashed and this hasn't been moved in years. Now I may run the risk that once you open it you may get leakage. I hope not. But as of right now, I'm just glad that I didn't have as much damage as I thought it would. So the good thing about it is that it all seems to be working properly. I'm going to go back into the car because I do have the rod for down here, and just to make sure that this piece right here is actually working as well too. I'm trying to see if I can make it go down. Yeah, see, this thing doesn't want to press in. I mean, it's a hefty spring in here, so I'm gonna have to investigate why this guy, you know, it feels like it's jammed in here. It doesn't. I'm gonna have to figure out why it's jammed in here. So let's see what I'm gonna need to take apart here real quick. Let's see. So removing this back nut right here, you take off this lock ring, take off this back nut, and removes this back plate off of it, and looks like it comes all that off. But I don't see. I'm pretty sure this guy kind of pushes inward. See, and oh, I see. Okay. So what we got in here, this hole seems a little too big and it's snagging right at the top up there. I can see that it's catching that metal. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if I could pick at it with a screwdriver, see if I can make it come out, because yeah, it shouldn't be in there like that. It's really snagged in there. One of the things that I'll show you, this is a 1996 to 98 Ford Mustang Hydrobooster right here. This is the one that we're running on Staff Sergeant Reckless, and the difference here is that you guys see these tubings here. These are for the your inlet for your pressure, your rack and pinion, and then your this will be your cooler or your return to the reservoir. The second one that we're going to be running on our other 93, the notch that we call the grunt, will be this one. So, and you guys will be able to see the difference there. This is a 99 to 04, 05 Mustang Hydrobooster. So you guys can see the difference that we already set our banjo bolts on this one. So we're going to be routing this one a little bit different. So that's the two differences in the Hydroboosters that we got. One of the things that we will be seeing is if this plate's going to help us any on. They usually do, but we have a couple other Hydroboosters that have this a little different. Some have a different slant to them, so we're gonna have to see that when we get this guy on our 93 notchback that we call the grunt. That's a bridgeable crossed end, yeah. But he'll have the 99 to 04 Hydrobooster, and Reckless will be carrying the 96 through 98 Hydrobooster. So those are the two differences in the Hydroboosters that we're going. I'm pretty sure internally they're basically the same thing. The accumulator is the only one that changes here, guys. You guys could tell here, this guy's so much bigger than this guy right here. So just the size right there, kind of give you a side-by-side comparison right here. So yeah, that's a big difference between these two Hydroboosters. So just be sure you guys know which ones you're going to use on your car. Obviously, this older one model was a pain in the butt to get because we were looking for it with these kind of setups. We thought that this was all part of the Hydrobooster. Come to know that we could just stuck some banjo bolts in here, but nevertheless, okay, we got something different, so it's cool. We're just gonna go ahead and keep it, and we're gonna display both of them. We got a couple extra ones, but yeah, we're gonna keep using this with Sergeant Reckless. I had it too far in now, but now see, that's how it goes. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you see that right there? It's got a little crack right here on top, man. And the problem here is, now that I could see it, you know, being out here, you know, this guy didn't go in all the way, so we're gonna have to set him inside all the way and then really give it a good squeezing in here to make sure that he stays in here and doesn't come back out. The reason this happened is because we had pulled this one out prior to installing it, and we were gonna go ahead and change it out, but I shouldn't have pulled it out. If I was gonna pull it out, I should have brought it out, and I probably left this indentation a little too high when I went to install it. And that's, as you can tell right now, look, it gets stuck right there. And so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall this guy in here, make sure he's in there fine, and then I'm gonna shape this guy back into place. I'm hoping I don't have to use any solder, or any welding. I'm gonna try and avoid that. I'm just gonna give it a good crimping. So let's shoot for that. But I could tell that's my problem. That's my initial problem. That's what happened here. And the further I drove the pedal into stop, the further it went in, and it just shot my other cylinder out. My what do you call it? My spool assembly. It shot this guy out. You know, because he just has two little rungs right here that he hangs on to. So he goes in there like that. So there's really, you know, it has possibility to fail, but it shouldn't. It sits in here so you guys can see. So as you guys can see now, at least I know that it's not completely damaged what I did here, and it's salvageable, and we're gonna fix it, and that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna go ahead and set this guy up. As I can tell now, everything's back in place. It feels actually in really good position. It's not as loose. So this is just our actuator. It goes in, it goes out, but we got to make sure he goes back in place. That little piece right here that are not coming out, you got to make sure. I got to make sure that I get him back in place because it has to come all the way out. So yeah. So there you go. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a work. You guys could see here, it doesn't look good, but we'll make it work. It's actually a good sized metal here, but we'll make it work. It's not too bad, and we're gonna put our plunger back in there and reassemble this bad boy and get it back on the car. You could tell that it at one point did this, and that's why it kind of cracked it right there. So we're gonna go ahead and fit them in. I'm wondering. No, we can't do that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and crimp it and then file it down gently all the way around, making sure that this guy doesn't fall out of place anymore. But the important thing is to be reshaping this right here so I can make sure I get smooth transition back and forth, and I'm not going to get this snagged anywhere in the car, especially on the inside. Can't have this failing. So. Man, all right. That's back in place. This may hurt me when I go to reinstall it because I pulled it off without this pin, but you know what, serves me right for being stupid. So I'm gonna have to live with it and get it in there as carefully as I possibly can. You know, we're gonna take our time, make sure you get everything in there. Of course it's gonna fail when we install the whole damn dashboard back on there. Of course it's gonna fail when it does that. But it's okay, it's not a problem. I'm glad I figured it out, and we can continue to move forward. So from the aerial view, if you guys, I'm gonna give you a top shot like that, you can see it's kind of oval. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of get it back into a circular form and shave down just through the file. I'm just gonna smooth everything out. I'm gonna try and keep this as steady as I can and nice and nice and as straight as I possibly can get it. I'm gonna use some. I know now. Check it out, it ain't gonna come out, so that's the good part. So I don't really necessarily want to bring in here any more clamps or anything like that. That may distort its natural round. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work with what I got. I'm gonna try and reshape this a little bit with this little brass hammer that I broke years ago, but still serves its purpose. I'm gonna go ahead and just reshape it, just tap it around. I'm gonna give me a little block of wood, and then just gonna go around it till I reshape it, then file it down a little bit, and then we're gonna go see and just give it a dry run. If it works out perfectly, we're gonna reassemble and reinstall it. You can still see. Alright, let's see. Okay. Goes in a little better, but I'm still getting stuck there, so we're not snagging as much. But yeah, let's go ahead and fix this up a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it in, and then I'm gonna see where I'm mostly round off. And as you guys can see, look, I'll give you the aerial view there. You guys can see I'm gonna have to close this in just a little bit tighter just to make sure it goes all the way in, man, because I don't want to have any issues where this guy just, you know, we want to have full stopping power, and we want to make sure we do stop. You know, pushing all that massive horsepower there, or at least we hope. We want to make sure that you got some good brakes. Alright, let's see if we can reshape this bad boy. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah. Now I'm going to check this other one over here. We gotta have that. Okay, guys?
That's the 99.
This is our 99 to 2004, and it's the same function that's going to go for our 96, 98. But as you guys can tell, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna blame myself, I beat this guy a little up too much, so this is where our problem's at right here. He is only going in that far, as you guys saw. Look at my travel here. Look at my travel here. My end is still sticking out. That's good. That's a good chunk of travel there, man. And I'm only getting about a third of that. So I definitely got to make sure I get this guy up and running before I put this all back together. I do not, and I do repeat, guys, safety, safety, safety. I know I play around with it, and I tell you safety third, coffee first, blah, blah, blah. But guys, this has been a very, very long build, and we have been very meticulous with it. So we're going to take our time to make sure that this guy works properly, or we'll just switch it out. But we got to make sure this guy's working properly, because we cannot tell you guys how important it is to have brakes. So everybody that didn't know, check this out, man. We made this boot. We killed it, okay? I don't care what anybody says. We made it. So this is a similar, as you guys can see, this is a similar 96, 98 Hydro Booster. We have the exact same setup right here as the lines, as you guys can see right here. This one just doesn't have the little cute triangle that this one has there. Other than that, it's the exact same thing, and we have, there it is, right there. Jeez. Oh my God. Well, the thing of it is, this guy's got, we got the reason it's hard too, because we got our master cylinder still attached to it. So that adds some resistance. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy in, and let's see if I can get. I want to get an idea of how far that travel is. So if this is a similar Hydro Booster, or, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the travel should only go a certain amount. But let's see if I can make it work. Keep it through this. Oh shit. Let me get some gloves, because that hurts. Okay. This glove is hard. If it don't fit, you must have quit. Damn glove sucks. Let me see. Alright. Can't really see, but it does travel quite a bit. I'm going to try it without the rag. Let me see if I could. It's
spilling.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, there we go. No big deal. Spilling some blood. So let's just see if we can get this up. It does, in my belief.
Where did you buy the boot from?
Oh yeah. No, we got to get that. Yeah, that's. I could still feel I have more play to go down. So I definitely have to see. I definitely have to fix that plunger, so we can get this done. Now this boot, as you guys can see, we're gonna turn this around real quick. I have pieces of rubber here. There's just an inner tube, and you guys can see I have all my writing on there to firewall, and that's the bottom. We, did some really cool measurements, and all I did was cut off a square to the holes, and then this corrugated part right here is actually the boot to the rack and pinion of a '96 Honda Civic. So this covers your inner tie rod on each side. So all we did was cut the back end of it, the thick part. We left one of the loops, and then we just glued it all. As you guys can tell, my gloves don't fit. We glued it all in the front here. It's all silicone, and you know what? For what it's going to do, it's going to serve the purpose. It looks good.
You couldn't find one aftermarket?
Yeah, we couldn't find anything aftermarket, because this is what it will look like originally when you pull it off of your car. And this one, although the boot was still kind of good, you guys can see it's got a split in there. You know, I also put it back. Actually, the front of it is just a little bit extra, because this whole backside, as you guys can see, that's all glued in here. This is all like mangled up, but this was an original one. But you know, there you go. Here it is. I mean, it's not as fancy with the nice smooth part here, but hey man, what the hell? That's a pretty good deal for me, if you ask me. Not bad, huh? Later, I think I could go ahead and do a double layer of the front, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. As of right now, I got one problem to get to it, so let's go to it. This guy right here is being difficult. All right, I can get it to move out So it was really jammed in there. It was really jammed in there. So what I did right now, I just been slightly filing it, and then just kind of softly banging it, and then softly filing it down, just making sure. And I can get it all the way through now, and all the way out, and that's good. See, it's going in, bam. I don't want it to be that hard, because as you guys saw right here on this one, that doesn't have a brake booster on, I mean a master. Look at that. This is how I want that action to be. And although, you see how tough it is now? Alright. But it's definitely a hell of a lot better than how it was. And I can tell you that, yeah, it is this part right here. The good thing is that I have enough meat that I'm just going to go ahead and just keep smoothing it out and just rounding it off and smoothing it out till I get a nice smooth transition back and forth. That's what I'm doing right now. And like I said, it was really jammed up in there, and we're getting a little bit more travel, but like I said, I got to put a little bit of pressure in there. The problem is when I have it in the car, will it give me enough pressure to bring it back? So that we want to make sure that it's just a smooth transition right now, that it's open, because even though I can get it to come back, we don't know if that's going to be the same when we get it back in here. So let's go ahead and just keep working at it, man. I'm going to keep filing this down until I get a nice smooth transition. So I don't want it to get snagged in there. And I know, you know, and I guess I'm being choosy and picky, because I'm like, okay, I could just put on the other one. But you know what, guys? I want to make sure I know what I'm doing with this car. I want to make sure that I know that I've touched every bit of this car, which I have, which I didn't want to, but I have. And now at least I know, okay, we did this, we did that, we took care of this, this is how we fixed that, this is how... We're almost there, you know, we're almost there. And I could see, like, in the areas, like, right here, I got a snag. I can get a snag right there, 'cause I could see where it goes through right here. It's snagging a little bit, so I'm going to take that down. And it's just where it's rubbing on the inside of this guy. The reason I'm taking my time with it is because I do not want to remove too much from the inside or scar the inside of this, which I'm hoping it's not too bad. I know I just went in the one time. I haven't pushed it through. So right now we're just smoothing it out. We're trying to make it go on its own recognizances. I mean, yes, I get it. I already pushed it through with the hammer, but yeah, that's all we're going to do, man. We're just going to keep working it down and working it down and working it down until we get it nice and smooth transitions. All right? And the good thing about it is that right now, this guy's in place, so it ain't gonna come out. I know that for a fact. I know that's gonna hold in place and not gonna pop out on me when I have it in the car, because it wasn't going in, so I made sure it popped in. So boom, there it is. It's gonna hold in place. I'm not too worried. I just want to make sure that, like I said, I get this down nice to the smoothness of a bolt action rifle. Let's try it. Let's try and see if we can get that going. It's going in. I still want it smoother. So right now, there's no little trick. My old man taught me. What we're going to do is just like dyeing it. So we're just going to give it a color here. So when I push it through, whatever rubs off, those are my high spots. And, you know, we'll just run some carb cleaner in here just to get all that paint out of there. Don't think I need it, but let's see how far we are. So, all right. Oh, would you look at that? I'm not touching anything. So what the hell's wrong with you, buddy? It ain't up here. Well, I guess I got it down. Okay. So we got a little bit of touchy right there. As you guys can see, I rubbed it off right there in the middle. Okay, let's go around it. Still. Okay. And then I got a little grabbing right there. So, okay, I still got like another spot right here. So I got like a high spot that runs around right here, this ridge. And then I got this high spot right there. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Doesn't look like it was a whole lot, but you know, better to be safe than sorry. And like again, the good thing is that I have enough meat on this piece right here, and it's nice and thick that I'm not really debilitating it. You know what I mean? I'm not weakening it. You know, the hard part is going to be inside here, kind of where this whole thing is at. So let's see where else we're right here on this side. Got a little high spot right there, but check this out. Yep. That's exactly kind of what I want. I still got a little bit of high spot, as you guys can see right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack that. But other than that, if we walk around it, I'm gonna take you right around. Oh, see another little high spot right there. All right. And that to me it ain't bad, brothers and sisters. I'll tell you what. All right, let's take care of these two high spots, and you guys saw right now. The transition, the motion is actually really good. It's got a little bit of a snag, but we're going to take care of that. My only big thing now is that I make sure that this doesn't leak from back here. That was the big thing. That I didn't want to scar the inside of this guy because there is rubber O-rings on the bottom side of this shaft. I'll pop it out on the bottom and I'll show you in a minute. But let's go ahead and clean this up. Perfect. Man, I was getting scared there. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was getting scared. I thought I was gonna have to do more work. More work than what I have to do. So we're gonna wipe that down. So, you know, we could have just gone ahead and just bought another one. You know, exactly, man. How are we even gonna find these things? You know, you're out there in the market there. People don't know. People don't even like these motherfuckers. And now here, it's funny because they're out in the market, guys. If you find them, buy them. You know, if you don't want them, give them to me for free. I'll take them and I'll restore them for free for me. But we couldn't go out there. We had a couple extras. We're not going to go into our extras. We're going to make what we got work. We already knew it was working until this little situation. So now we know perfectly well that this Hydro Booster is actually going to be working just fine. And again, I could have gone out and bought one. But here's the thing. You showed me first where to buy one.
Correct.
You know, we could probably still get OG stuff from AutoZone, I guess, for top dollar or Napa or anything like that. But other than that, as of right now, as I could see, I'm gonna go ahead and just color this in real quick again for one last showing. I just want to make sure that I got all the grooves there. I'm pretty sure I did. As you guys can see, I got some fluid on there, so it's okay. Let me wipe it down a little bit better so I can make sure I can get this thing to stick. I want to make sure that I got all the high spots off of it. Again, guys, I don't want to have to tear this down again. And I mean, as much as I tell y'all, you know, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do this again. It's going to be a time we're going to end up doing this again. But we want to get some use out of it and see how that goes. All right. So right now, I got everything. All right. Good. I just want to make sure that it's covered. That way I know what's grinding. And as of right now, and let's see. Not bad. I still have a little bit right back in there, which is not a big deal. As you guys remember, I had like a whole half of this was snagging up on the inside of this guy, and then I had a dot up here, a little bit going, you know, like a little bit on top there. But right now, all I got, if you guys can see, it's right there, that little piece right there. Once I bring it down, I should be able to have that really extra smooth transition. As you guys can see it, I have that. This is just, and it's nothing special, man. This is just Bistro chalk marker, so it works great. It doesn't damage anything, and you know what? It erases real easy. It's chalk marker. So the good thing is that if you know, you don't have to get anything special. I was gonna use ink, but you know, this will work out just good. So right now, what we're gonna do is just clean this up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start putting it back together. So let's see. Took care of our little problem area, and hopefully that's all I needed. Oh, perfect. Look at that, on its own. On its own. And I'm still getting a little bit of rub, but it's also banging as it goes in. So I'm just gonna take that down just a little bit more. And then I think it's ready. As you guys can see, it's coming down smoothly. And I'm gonna clean it up again and start putting it back together. Let's see if we get that done then. So just clean up this little piece right here. And it doesn't need a lot. I've been going at it very gingerly, just, you know, trying to do, you know, just trying to get the stuff that it needs it, not trying to go around the whole thing. And, you know, I'm not trying to lose too much material anywhere around here because, again, it's just, you know, it's in there. But I'm just taking off what I need. I'm not trying to take off more than what I need. So, you know, you guys want to take it easy. Obviously, you may need to take a little longer sometimes than not, but here it is. Perfect. Look at that. Exactly what I wanted. All right, let's see if we can't mess anything else up, and let's get it back together. Should have waited to install this, but I couldn't. You know, at the end of it all, I knew that if I waited to install it, I'm going to be wrestling with it much later. So it's okay. I'm okay with it. So we're just going to work with what we got. I'm going to use a buddy here so we can get a little bit of a lift. It won't be that big. It won't be that bad. Alright. Alright, so the big spring here, that guy rides inside here, but not without our friend here. So that's just a little insulator for our spring, and then our rod goes in here, which that the rod is in the car or at the garage. It goes to our master cylinder, so it'll shoot out the front right in here. So we also have that spring retainer floating around in this guy right there. If you guys can see it, that's our spring retainer. So when our spring pops in, like let me see if we can get a. It'll look like that. All right, fix it up a little bit. But yes, this is what we want to make it look like. This is what it's gonna end up looking like. So we're gonna pop everything back together, get our screws in. We're gonna take this approach to it. Hopefully I don't mess it up, and hopefully we don't mess anything else up. But I don't think so. I think we're doing pretty good so far. Let's not jinx each other. So one of the things that I was mostly worried about is that right in here, this piece right here, which I initially thought that right there, my accumulator, it was sitting right on there. So that piece, that edge was like kind of jagged like this, and it does have a little wiggle room, as you guys can see. So it had popped out due to the fact that the plunger back here had hyperextended and it got stuck inside. That's what the problem was. So now we're gonna go ahead and just come on with me. Come with me, friend. Trying to force it. There we go. Again, as you guys can see, there's no scarring on this thing, so that's good. That's good. So I'm just gonna wipe it down. And I got the good thing about it. This is all this fluid that you see right here. This is all power steering fluid. So, you know, I got plenty of it laying on the tray. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lube it up with some of that. But first things first. This guy goes. This guy has a spring, so he sits in here. Now the spring also, when it's in there, it sits in there like that. That spring was giving it enough, was also jammed in there where it was not letting it sit in there properly. So we're gonna go ahead and try and be careful, make sure we get all this put back in there correctly. All right, we'll pull these guys out. And one more thing, guys, the other thing I'll tell you, please be careful with your gasket. If you don't have any of these rebuild kits, I went online, I couldn't find a rebuild kit. I went online, I couldn't find a breakdown kit for this, and I went online, and there's very few people that can give you any instructions about these, you know, hydro boosters. Obviously, for the mechanically inclined person, you know, we're gonna open it up and we're gonna figure it out. The bum part would be if this is broken and then we can't find it, and now we're stuck with an open hydro booster that we know is good, but we can't fix because we got a broken seal. So if you guys know of anybody that has these seals or anything, hey, drop us a line, leave us a message. I'd be glad to get in contact because I want to restore a couple of our other hydro boosters and make sure we get them right. One of the things that I'll show you real quick on this plunger, when we push it out on the back end right here, let me turn it this way, and let me get my little pointing stick here, which is a broken screwdriver, right in here, right at the back end back here. I don't know if we can see that. But at the very back, back there, there's 2 O-rings. So just make sure they're not worn out. Make sure they're not broken. They're at the very back, over the way back there. I don't know if you guys can see them. They're all the way back there. It's 2 black O-rings. There's one further in. Obviously, I'd have to take off the plunger from the other side to make sure this comes all the way through. But I'm sure that the rebuild kit will carry those 2 O-rings, this O-ring, and a couple other things, because there's also some parts in here. There's a ball bearing inside of here, and there's 2 more seals in here, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure that if we were to get a rebuild kit, a proper rebuild kit for this, it will come with all of that. Now I'll show you the image that I was able to pull down, and it basically it's very small. My computer skills are not always the greatest, but that's basically what it looks like. And then I just pulled down 9698 Ford Hydroboost or diagram, and this is what he gave me. And as you guys can see, there's more components in here that I'm not gonna mess with, because again, I don't have these rebuild kits, so I'm not gonna put myself in a bind and just tear it down completely. It was working fine till this particular incident, so let's just keep moving with that. But again, if any of you guys out there, man, anybody watching, if you guys know where I can get a rebuild kit for this, I can maybe get a couple and do the rest of these, or even new boots. That'd be great, man. Drop me a line, leave us a message, and it'd be great for us to get in contact with someone that can do that. And if you guys know it, hey, more power to you guys. Fix your brake boosters and hydro boosters and everything, and maybe you can put up a video so I can watch it next time. Other than that, let's finish this one up. So, as you guys see, this guy right here only has those 2 little nubs right there that are that hold this actuator in place. These 2 nubs right there, and that just basically sits like that. So we're gonna go ahead and push this back down like so, and make sure our actuator is in the node. There it is. So it actually does have like a spacing, kind of like how it falls in place. So then this guy will go in here, and then this guy will go in here. And our seal. All right. Now I'm imagining that this is going to be the tricky part, but I'm hoping it's not. We're going to try and keep our spring retainer, which is inside of here. I don't have anything else inside of here, not that I could see. The best part is, from what I could see, I don't have anything scarring in there, so that's a-okay with me, man. I don't want any scarring. These, you know, you put a little thin scratch in this, and you may have a leak or lose a pressure or something, man. And we don't want that, bro. We definitely don't want that. Work too hard to destroy this car just like that. At least let me blow up with it on the track. All right. Now, the tricky part is going to be right here, so maybe not so much. Let's see. Okay. Beautiful. Let me fix this up real quick. I know it's not the best base, but it's what I had. Judge me later, friends. Now I'm just gonna get it down because I don't want the springs to kind of keep popping on me. And then I'm gonna sit her down completely and torque it down. Down. All right. Looks like I did some good. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down. But shall we give it a little dry run? Let's see if I did something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. Let's tighten it down. This is real good. I'm gonna admit, I'm pretty proud of myself. So, not that I wouldn't be, but you know. There we go. Now, perfect. You know, I was a little on the fence. I thought I may have damaged it. It's a good thing that it's all metal and it's very manly here, so we can rebuild it and get some. There we go. And I'm giving it just good size pressure. I don't have specs on what the torque of this is, but there's a seal here, and I don't want to see anything leaking out of it. So I'm guessing I should torque it down pretty good, and that's what I shall do. Perfect. One more. Alright. 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 Last one. Alright, perfect. Oh. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's see again. Look at that. Oh. And that, my friends, is how you fix your mistakes. I'm happy that it worked out for us. Next thing for us to do, we're going to go ahead and install this bad boy and run the hoses back. We're going to pull out our diagram so everybody can see that I'm connecting it right. I do know, thanks for my man over there that watched that video when we did install it. He pointed out that I did do it wrong, which whoever was watching, you know, thank you for everyone who's watching. You guys saw that I did rectify it. We did fix that problem. That's my power steering line. Well, that's the one coming from the power steering pump. So that's my high side. All right. Alrighty. We went ahead and we got our hydro booster ready here, so you guys could see. Previous to taking it off, I had put the tape on it just to kind of remind me where the lines go. And so, as you guys could see, all right, we got 3 of them here, and I drew a little diagram back here. Let's go over it, shall we? Remove this light, put that right there. Work with me, magnet. There we go. All right, it's a little crude, and you know what? I didn't pull out the real magic markers for this, but it's pretty easy. This is my hydro booster right here. All right, I have 3 ports. Alright, so here's the hydro booster. And those are my 3 ports. Obviously, my 3 ports are here, but I got one down here. I actually have 2 on the bottom and 1 on top. Kind of mimic the same here. I got 2 on the bottom, 1 on top. The first one that I'm going to will be this guy right here, which is this line right here. Because it twists around and whatnot, it goes all goofy. That's going to be one of my high sides. That's going to be one of my high pressure lines. And this one is going to be going to my power steering pump. So as you guys can see, as you see in the drawing, it goes from here, high side, power steering pump. The next one will be the one at the bottom over here, which will be this guy down here. This is going to be my secondary high pressure. That is actually going to be this port right here. Comes from the bottom down here. And this port right here will be going to my rack and pinion. Now, from there, we have the last one, which is this guy right here. This guy is the return, or the one that goes over to your reservoir. So since we also do have a power steering oil cooler, I drew up a little crude little drawing here. So our high side, secondary high side, goes to the bottom one of our rack and pinion. There's 2 ports on there. The top port is our return port. Our bottom port is our high side port on the rack and pinion. Bottom one on their hydro booster, high side, top high side, front lower is going to be our return. Has low pressure. So over here I drew a little thing. As you guys know, most oil coolers are just a steel line wrapped around, and then they have fins on it. So we're going to take our low pressure, feed to one side. It's going to go around, and then it's going to tee into our hydro booster, and then from that tee we'll go all the way over to our power steering reservoir. And of course, the last one is the one at the low side off our power steering pump, which will go to the secondary opening on our power steering reservoir. We didn't remove a whole bunch. We've already done a bunch of work. We already have all the lines running. Our power steering reservoir is sitting over on that end. Our power steering pump, it's over on that side of the engine. Obviously, we all know that we have our rack and pinion right down here, and the oil cooler is right in front of the radiator. So I have a T connector. We have our 3 hoses right here, and like I said, I split them up. This is my power steering. This is to my power steering pump. This is my rack and pinion. And this is to the return, or the oil cooler. So let's go ahead and fit it in. Now mind you guys, when we put this guy in, we didn't have an engine in there. Actually, we had to pull it out to get the engine in, so I had some practice of installing it. But we didn't have that cross brace, which is super cool. But we're going to go ahead and sneak it in there. And John, it's a good thing that it's going back to John, because I scuffed it up down here a little bit, so this thing is a little heavy, and like I told you before when I was rebuilding it, I kind of removed that bottom plunger, and so now I hope that it doesn't give me that much trouble. Which I think it is, because initially, like I said, I didn't have this brace, but I also didn't have that really cool washer line. So let me try and figure something else out, boys and girls. Let's see. I may have to do this. Over like that a little bit. It's a good thing it's a copper line. Now, let's see if we can. I think I got it.
The gas line's in your way, so it's
Gas line's in my way?
Yeah, it's right here.
All right.
I think you got it.
Oh, wait a minute. Cut on more lines. Okay. Let's see if I can get. Oh, there it went. I think I got it. Ooh. Alright, I think I got it. I mean, the dangers of it, boys and girls. God, I'm glad that we're gonna go see John. But, you know, I did scratch it up, but it's okay. We're gonna go ahead and touch that up. I'm not taking this off again. John better figure that out. And, she's in. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and go underneath the column and do some mechanic yoga and, do that infamous pose that we all know that, you know, it's called stuck fat guy pose. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that underneath, because as we both know, these two top nuts up here are gonna be a joyful experience, because they're just really tucked up there, and when we installed this, we didn't have a dash. So I'm gonna go ahead and start and secure it in place and make sure that everything down there is gonna work out just fine. These two right here are my connectors to my brake switch, and what I'm gonna end up doing right now, the brake's still a little loose. My plunger is right here. I'm pretty sure we can see it. Let's get a light in here. There it is. There's my plunger right there. And it's sitting exactly where it should be. Like, look at that, man. When I put this guy in here, let's see. Bam. There it is, buddy. There it is. That's where it should be. Perfect. Look at that. We're right on there. I'm not gonna press it. I'm not gonna do the exact same thing I did prior to it, which is probably exactly what happened, man. I think that I pressed it in too far. I got it stuck in there, as you guys saw. But I did the filing down. We did the whole thing. We smoothed it out. So we should be good. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave it in there right now. I'm not gonna connect it to my pedal just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and try and bolt it down. Maybe I will keep it like this, because the pedal being out the way, it does help out. I have fat hands, and it really just doesn't work that well. We're gonna try and give you guys as many close-ups as we can, as you guys can see. But as you guys can see already, we're yeah, it's pretty tight in here, and it's okay, because we like it like that. We're gonna go ahead and then see if we can finish this one off. It's 4 nuts. We got the easy ones are right here. We got one right here. So that's not too bad. And then there's one on the other side. But obviously we know that just these are the 2 easiest ones. Initially what I thought was, when I had installed this, I didn't notice that the top 2 nuts were still a little loose. So when I retracted them in, I thought that I jammed it up because it came in and wasn't ready, and I must have done something to it. Turns out that I just messed it up anyway. So let's not talk about me anymore. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can get in here. We're gonna try and get this from the side. Now there's one way up here. Let's see. Now it's almost right behind the boot. I can put my finger on it. I got a good visual from it from where I'm at, but you know, it's not about me. It's about you guys. All right. Well, I got 2 of them started. Now this is a 12 millimeter, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and get that set up. All right. I got one on there. We'll see if I can get this top corner one up here put on. It's kind of a pain in the butt. We have this guy right here is right in our way, so yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a battle here, but it's okay. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get it. Two pretty much all the way down. I got one more on top on the far side over there. I'm gonna attempt to put this guy on here because The problem with the last one over here, it's kind of right behind the pedal here, and our switch is right above it, right in front of it almost. So more of this Houdini working blind stuff. Here we go. I'm just backing this one out a little bit because what I want to do, thanks to Mano Negra, he got it up there. His hands are smaller, but he got it up there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tighten up the top ones because this plate has like an angle, so I want it to angle in this way. And then I'll come and tighten the bottom ones after I'm done, because I'm curious to see like how the pedal reacts better. I'm almost kind of worried that it's kind of snagging. It may be too much of a pinch on the plunger. So we'll see right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna back this guy off right now, because this is the one that I tied up at the beginning before. And then this guy over here is not tight, but I will also need to back it off a little bit more. What it's doing is coming in like this, and initially we had already installed everything when I had already tightened the top ones. So now that I brought it over, the plunger is it's gonna lighten up a little bit more. So I may have to go underneath and put a shim on the outside. Like that's why I dug this guy up right here, like about that thick. If I can go underneath on the two bottom ones and from the outside, kind of retain it, hold it in there, and it will give me the angle that I need. I think we'll be in good business. I already got this pretty tight down right here, but if you follow the edge of this plate right here and you follow it towards the bottom, you'll see that there's a kind of bit of a little opening all the way down at the bottom of the plate.
Okay.
Down at the bottom where the other two holes are at. So let me see, it's right down there. It's a gap. That gap, if I tighten it up, what it's gonna do, it's gonna pull my hydro booster down. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna make the plunger align, kind of go up more, and my pedal, the way it is, it's gonna give it a little bit more stress. So what I'm gonna attempt to do, I'm gonna put a spacer in there in the back right here, and then tighten it down from the inside of the steering column, keeping it at an angle, so we can ensure that we don't get this jammed up again. My arm is a little short. Oop, 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 I think I'm in there.
I think, yeah.
If I loosen it up a little bit more from the top to give me a little bit more play, I think I'll be good. Okay. Whew. It's pretty tight, man, I'm not gonna lie. I got it pretty tight in here, but looks like I got one. I'm gonna empty out my master cylinder because I'm getting fluid all over the place. But I can't tell you, bro, it is higher now. It does have more of a pitch now because my lines ain't reaching to it. So just be sure, guys, when you start moving these around, you don't kink them or bend them. It will take a little bit of bendology to get it out there and get it back in place. So I'm gonna drain the fluid because, as you can tell, I got fluid all over me and I don't want any more on the block. So let me clean this up. Let me get a little cup and pour that out. So we're gonna put it right back in here. All right. Alright, that's pretty good. I'm gonna put our plunger back inside there. There we go. And let's see if we can. I gotta keep my friend here on this side. Let me see if I can line it up. You would think it wouldn't be that hard, but I'd be I'd be lying to you if I told you it was easy. There we go. You're probably asking, you're wondering, like, why is it all loose? Well, I'm trying to keep it loose so I can get it to fit in there right. The last thing I want to do is cross thread any of these threads, because then we're really going to be in a world of hurt. Feels like it went in. Yeah, you see it's crooked. So we got one of these crow's foot. Let me try it from behind. Let me get it, see if I can get it from back here. Oof. You know, I'm there, but it's really a pain in the butt. I'm not gonna lie. Everything seems to be kind of in the way.
Right. But still.
Okay. All right. As you guys can see, we got pretty much everything on there. I got one more nut to tighten down right down here. I'm gonna try and reach that in a minute with our 14 millimeter before I install the hoses. I got the last line right here. It was a little bit of pain in the ass to get these two lines here. I managed to loosen up the 10 millimeter down here to the little T connector. That's right down there. And then I popped in this one, I threaded in the top one, and then I got the bottom one set up, the one of the T connector put in. So it worked out pretty good. But if you guys could tell, man, it's pretty tight in here, man. So for a guy with big hands like mine, man, it's a pain in the butt. So right now, we're going to finish up this line right here, torque it down, tighten it down, make sure we're not leaking any fluids, get this right up, and then we'll fire it up. We'll put some more fluid and some more power steering fluid in there and fire it up and see how we did. We're also going to go back underneath, and I just want to make sure for the last time that my pedal is sitting right. Now, we did shim this guy. We added 2 shims at the very bottom to kind of pivot it from the top in and then stick the bottom out to give me more of an angle going into my brake pedal. So I do think that that was the culprit on why it got stuck, because I tightened up the top 2 nuts way later after I had already, you know, fastened down the bottom ones. And I think that's what my culprit, that was my problem there. But I'm glad I got that all settled out. As you guys see, I went ahead and got everything all nice and smooth to give me that nice work and transaction that we got going on now. So it's just a matter to see if our function will work with our form. And the reason these, you know, guys take your time. This is aluminum. If you strip it, you're gonna be here for another God knows how long trying to get it back on there, dude. Just take your time, all right, man. Just don't rush it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to shape it out. Maybe I'm gonna loosen it up down here to give me a little bit more wiggle room on the top. This way. Still pretty loose. Oh, there's another. This is for power steering, bro. We want to pay the price for power steering. This is what it is right here. Plus good stopping power. That's a definite. You know, Last thing I want to do is wrap this thing on a pole. A little bit at a time. Now to tighten it up. Unfortunately, that's where we're at with it. So I know that everybody's probably looking at it, that's not a line wrench. You're right, it's not a line wrench, but it makes my life easier right now to get it. I wouldn't torque this with it, because the last thing I want to do is round out these fittings. So as you guys can see, it's working gently. Just takes a little bit longer, but you know what, man? It's okay. It's okay. We're still good. We're still good. Okay. Let's get some of this stuff on here. Just using some Teflon tape right here, and be generous. No, it'll. Pretty sure it'll mess up these threads pretty good. Again, it's a little nice tight little area here, guys, so there we go. That looks pretty good. So this is for our power steering pump. Number one. Alright. Let's Teflon the rest of these guys. Now these have a good amount of pressure here, guys. They're about 125, 150 psi. So it'll behoove you to make sure you get that on there, right? All right. Let's see. It did come back a little bit because my line is just a little bit more taut than what it was. So I can tell that my master, that I was able to get my hydro booster pitched from the bottom up and the back more in. I also don't have as much room on my cap as I did before. I was able to have the cap on here very, very freely. So I mean, it's just what happens. I hope not to damage that brake. It's more important. I can deal with moving the master cylinder around a little bit around the actual brace here. It's not a problem. So I could deal with that. Let me just get that little piece of tape out of there. Alright. And the only reason I did that is because it's blue. Alright, and there it is. Alright. Actually, I'm gonna loosen this one up a little bit real quick. And I'm gonna tighten up this guy, then the guy in the back right back here first. Alright. Got everything put back on there. me see if this guy, yeah, my bleeder screws is loose. So I'm gonna put some more, I'm gonna put some brake fluid in here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up. But first I'm gonna connect the pedal. Make sure that that's exactly where I want it to be. And you know, I'm not gonna compress it just yet. I'm gonna fire it up and get some fluid through it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and see what it feels like. Hopefully we did a really good job. We're just gonna get it to the top because we still have to. We're still gonna have to. What do you call it? We still gotta bleed this bad boy. And there it is. Like I told you guys, like I could tell you right now, we definitely are closer to the top here. Much closer than we were before. I was able to put my finger right through here. I can't even get my pinky in there. Good thing is the cap's a little flat. I'm just hoping that we don't. Oh yeah. There's gonna be an issue right there. Okay, well, we're gonna have to figure something else out here. We're gonna have to probably come up with a different cap, but definitely we're gonna have to come up with something because this is gonna be an issue. I could tell you right now. I was pretty much dead on nuts to know that this was gonna happen. So I'm not worried about it. I know I can make it work again. It's okay. And right now, right before we do the bleed, we're gonna go ahead and take care of this. For right now, though, I'm gonna go ahead and connect that pedal and then get ready with some power steering fluid so we can see what we got. All right. So it's coming back out. Oh man, it feels real good. It feels real smooth. I have no binding. I do not like that I have that spacing in here, so I'm gonna get back in here and I'm gonna drop this extra spacer that I got right here. But one of the things that I noticed when that happened, it moved my pedal here. I think I pulled it too hard and I may have moved this back. So I'm going to take off my brake switch a little later and then readjust that little plate right here, make it push forward so it's sitting right up against my pedal. As you guys can tell right now, it's not even touching the pedal, but the plate is at an angle. So I'm going to have to remove this and then push the plate back in front of that, the stopping power right here. And but you can tell it's not on there. So I'm going to keep these off till I can straighten that up. Right now, my main important thing is I got this on here. I do not like that slack, but we're going to get into it in a minute because I have extra spacers. That's the good part. My biggest thing was right here. And if you guys could see it, he's coming right back. We got it stuck. So I just gave it a little baby pump. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it all up. And let's get some fluid ready. Yeah, okay. We're going to leave it there, though. I'm going to leave it like this. Because obviously it's going to fill in when we go ahead and fire it up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. the pedal's working. It's really nice and smooth. It's moving in, but right now it's pulled in because I got a lot of air in here. It's coming up, but here's the thing. It's all the way up right here. If I let it go, it sucks it back in. That means I still got some air in there. Sucks it back in. But look, smooth transition in. It feels much, much better than before. It has really smooth transition. I'm not liking that it sunk. But the thing is, right now I gotta bleed it a little bit more. One finger, man. Like, this is so smooth, you know? But I can feel that there's binding in there. I'm catching air. But dude, this is like ridiculously smooth.
So you mean you don't want a race car?
No race car. No race car. I know we got air in there. Well, typically, as you guys saw, like my pedal was stuck down. And again, it could have been because I pumped it when I had disconnected these guys and it had no real fluid in there, and it jammed up in there. Now the other thing was that I had it too much of an angle that it jammed the back retainer back inside the shaft. As you guys saw, we were able to see that I was able to get it all the way through it, all the way out. We filed it down to a smooth little, nice smooth little nubs off the way, get all that stuff out, so we have a nice smooth transition as we do right now. The only thing is that we have left, so you guys going through the same problem, you guys will see that if you can fix it, I would suggest you fix it. And if you can get a kit, go ahead and get a kit. It'll really save your day, man. So other than that, guys, I think that this worked out to the perfection. I think that we are now going to pedal back once we bleed it out, and we'll be back up and running. And in no time, this one gets done. Guys, I want to thank all of you. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.